It's the 4th of December, 2010. The New York Times is interviewing Jeff Bewkes, the CEO of Time Warner. They own HBO, Warner Bros., Batman, Harry Potter, The Sopranos, you name it. The reporter asks him about Netflix. Bewkes says, it's a little bit like, is the Albanian army going to take over the world? I don't think so. Netflix had 20 million subscribers then. They mailed DVDs to your house in red envelopes. Time Warner was pulling in $50 billion a year. Bewkes laughed. Hollywood laughed with him. Fast forward to December 5th, 2025.
Netflix announced the multi-billion-dollar deal
to buy Warner Brothers for a $72 billion.
Netflix went from being a joke 15 years ago to an empire. So we're breaking down 3 things: how Warner Bros. Destroyed itself trying to fight Netflix, the financial engineering that made this deal possible, and what Hollywood actually lost when the Albanian army won. Look at this chart of Warner Bros. Discovery stock. In April 2022, when the AT&T and Discovery merger was completed, they were trading at $24 per share. In mid-2025, their shares were at $7.52 per share. When Netflix announced the deal, it jumped to $27.75. Why? Because they tried to fight Netflix with Netflix weapon. Back in 2019, every studio in Hollywood had the same strategy. Launch your own Netflix, pull your content off their platform, build your own. It failed badly. Here's what happened to Warner Bros. Specifically. 2018, AT&T buys Time Warner for $85 billion, renames it Warner Media, launches HBO Max to compete with Netflix. 2021, AT&T gives up. They merge Warner Media with Discovery, creates Warner Bros. Discovery, and David Zaslav becomes CEO. Zaslav inherits a disaster, $36 billion in debt. The streaming platform was bleeding $2 billion a year. Cable TV revenue is collapsing because everyone's cutting the cord. His solution? Cut everything. He cancels Batgirl after they've already filmed it, $90 million gone. He removes shows from HBO Max to avoid paying residuals to creators, fires thousands of people. And then he licensed Warner's biggest film to Netflix, Dune and Aquaman, the competitor they're supposed to be fighting. They were selling furniture to pay the mortgage. Netflix announces House of Cards with a $100 million budget for 2 seasons. Hollywood's reaction?
You're insane.
Netflix does not know how to make TV. This will bankrupt them. Netflix CEO said something in response that everyone dismissed. The goal is to become HBO faster than HBO can become us. And
Oh boy.
he did it. Netflix had 44 million subscribers. They spent $3 billion on content that year and released House of Cards and Orange is the New Black. They released Stranger Things, The Crown, Ozark, The Witcher, and Narcos. Netflix did not want to buy Warner Bros. Discovery. They wanted Warner Bros. Without Discovery. So they engineered a split. Before this deal closes, probably around September 2026, Warner Bros. Discovery will separate into 2 companies. Discovery Global. This is where all the dying cable assets go. CNN, TNT Sport, Discovery Channel, TLC, Eurosport, Warner Bros. This is the prize. The assets that make money. Netflix gets Hollywood's crown jewels, while Discovery Global gets the bill. So let's see what $82.7 billion actually buys. The studio. Warner Bros. Pictures and Television. 102 years of film history. The production studios in Burbank, New Line Cinema, which made The Lord of the Rings. DC Studios. You get the streaming empire, HBO and HBO Max, with 128 million subscribers. The cherry on the top is the IP vault. It includes 8 Harry Potter films plus Fantastic Beasts, the DC Universe, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Games of Thrones and House of Dragons, Friends, the most streamed show in history, Bugs Bunny, Scooby-Doo, Tom and Jerry, The Matrix. The list is endless. After this deal closes, Netflix plus HBO Max will have about 430 million subscribers, accounting for overlap. This means Netflix will control 40 to 50% of premium streaming in the United States. Senator Elizabeth Warren called this an anti-monopoly nightmare. The Writers Guild of America said, when there's only one buyer in town, the price of a script goes down. Independent filmmakers warned Netflix will hold a noose around the theatrical marketplace. Congressman Darrell Issa warned the Trump administration. With 300 million subscribers and a vast library, Netflix currently wield unequaled market power. They are right, because monopolies don't need to compete anymore. They set the terms. For 102 years, Warner Bros. Was Hollywood. For 50 years, HBO was the gold standard. In December 5th, 2025, they became part of a tech company in Los Gatos, California. The Albanian army joke became a prophecy. Jeff Bewkes dismissed Netflix in 2010 because he couldn't imagine a world where streaming beat cable. He was defending a dying model. Netflix was building the future. Will Netflix preserve the 100-year legacy of Warner Bros.? Will they treat Batman like a cultural icon, or will they treat him like Red Notice? Content to be consumed, algorithmized, and scrolled past. Because that's what this deal actually bought, the soul of Hollywood. And souls don't show up on the balance sheet. The streaming wars are over, and Netflix won. The deal closes in the third quarter of 2026, pending regulatory approval. The Department of Justice will review it. Antitrust lawsuits are already being drafted. But Netflix committed a $5.8 billion breakup fee. They're confident they will win. So the real question is, should they?